And some people lack any scrap of the humanities, and their nature is so depraved that they are unable to improve their behavior. Even a genuine spiritual teacher would find it very difficult to set them on the noble path. As the sublime being of the past said, the abilities of a disciple can be shaped, but not his basic characteristics. And like this, someone has into their own, like a kind of Buddhist speech, mind streams, and some people lack any scrap of the humanity. It is like a smallest, like a tiniest part of the humanity qualities. There is nothing. And then the nature is so depraved that they are unable to improve their behaviors. Even a genuine spiritual teacher would find it very difficult to set them on the noble path, because it's like this behaviors characteristics. And then how we can to do in these situations, it is very important to turn inward ourselves, how to measure, fathom our own characteristics. Do I have how much the humanities? How about my characteristics? Maybe my teacher is a genuine spiritual teacher. My path is genuine. Everything, but I cannot to be on the noble path, which kind of the wrong. And if we do like this, then its noble path is not difficult and 100% in our hand. But we never do like this because of the like kind of our own humanity, lack of the humanities, and we all the time is proudly, arrogantly to say, I'm educated, I'm quite okay, I'm like a good person, and whatever I do in things like a kind of superiors, I'm better than the Buddha, I'm better than the teacher, I'm better than the others. What I need to change? What I need to change, that means we need to change. Someone says, oh, I need to change. I need to develop my humanities. I want to be the noble path. Maybe this person's maybe already on the path. Maybe someone's arrogantly, oh, I'm on the noble path. Maybe it's not. And there's one guy, he wants to catch the one special birds. And then he asks some others, how I can to catch these birds? Then the advisor of this person say, you go to in this forest, there are many different birds. And this bird's name is the pancakes. I don't know the bird's names. But pancake birds you want to catch. And then there are many similarity birds. Someone's coming to you to say, I'm pancake birds, I'm pancake birds. And don't catch, because they are not pancake birds. They are not what you need. But there's a very carefully, you look, the one bird special, say, I'm not pancake birds, don't catch me. Say, you should to catch this one. Say. Sometimes it's just like, say, it's like, oh, yes, 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 I am, I see, I understand. Maybe not understand. I'm good, maybe not good. If someone say, I'm not good, I need to change, I want to be the, but which kind of, maybe this person's already there. Like this, to be on the noble path, absolutely, we need to look at it. If you cannot change, then there sometimes it's very difficult. this kind of the ability, you know, is like in a practice Dharma, and this is like our own individual, like incompatible propensities, like up the circumstances, and making the non-freedom in order to practice. And their sublime, like to say the idioms, is like maybe you can do the like ability of the disciples can be shaped like qualities inside a little bit to change, process to inner like maybe development of the education, but not his basic characters. Is very difficult to change basic characteristics. Sometimes basic characteristics it is really, really big incompatible propensity obstacles, and that also maybe we need to again check. A person who feel not the salat consternation either on the hearing of the low rebirth and the ills of the samsara, or in the face of this present life sufferings, has no determination whatsoever, so liberate himself from samsara, and therefore no reason to engage in Dharma practice. And like a kind of, this kind of many people we have like this, you know, it's a really like a big kind of incompatible propensity circumstances. Some persons who feels not to the salat consternation, either no hearing of the Lord like rebirths, and like a kind of the, and even if you bring to showing direct the problem of the low realms, and maybe face to face to see the samsaric sufferings, and it's like showing like this person has nothing to change, no kind of the desperation to the samsaric and sufferings. It's like kind of nothing to abandon, nothing interest to abandon the samsaric sufferings. It is like we say, it's like if someone is like front of the someone's, and the dog is all the inside the stomach, intestines falling down, and they are going to die in the front of this person, but they haven't got any compassion. They haven't got anything about the suffering of the samsaras. And this kind of sometimes mind has happened, particularly I would say some boys is like this. What I need to tell, I'm not afraid of samsara. I don't care the samsaric sufferings. And some teachers and books saying like taking care, next life, next time you maybe go to samsara, maybe it's you be injured by the samsaric sufferings. Their mind is difficult to change. They haven't got any like kind of the determined mind, their mind is. Then it's like a big incompatible propensity circumstances. It's like kind of, then there's no determination whatsoever to liberate himself into this path and from the samsaras, because it's like a fully kind of, we can just say yuck like this, and this person is whatever, even the enlightened be the front, yuck doesn't care. Even the samsaric, all the sufferers to collect, to put in the front of the yuck what they care, need to care. And this kind of, then is like no interest to Dharma. It's like a big kind of the obstacles making the non-freedom to practice Dharma. And then is the type no faith at all, either in the true Dharma or in the teachers, should offer any access to the teachings and bear entire to the path of the liberation. And then it's like the entirely the entrance door of the Dharma, it is the closed. because it's like we haven't got any interest, faith to the Dharma or the teacher of the Buddhas, then there's no entrance doors and closet. This is, of course, big circumstances, incompatible propensities. And also people who take pleasure in harmful or the negative actions and who fail to the control their thoughts, words and deeds, are devoid of the noble qualities, and they have turned away from the Dharma. And also it's like the three doors. Body, speech, mind is never tamed by any kind of positive compassions, wisdoms. And also according that, they haven't got any noble qualities themselves, and turn not like back way from the Dharma educations. And also they have very much pleasure is doing harming and the negative things. And in this situation, also it is the circumstance, incompatible propensities, is make non-freedom in order to practice Dharma. And some people are no more interested in the spiritual values and the Dharma than are dog in eating grass. Since they feel no enthusiasm for the Dharma, its qualities will never developed in their minds. And like a kind of the qualities of the Dharma, qualities of the teachers, and the virtues, and the genuine Dharmas, they haven't got this kind of interest. There's nothing kind of spiritual valued Dharma. Then this example is like a kind of hungry ducks, and to put into the lot of pipes of the grass, and duck never to eat. Then grass doesn't go into the empty stomach of the dog. Dog doesn't want to eat. And like this, we haven't got any kind of enthusiastic to the Dharma, and teaching teachers like this. Then is, of course, this is the stopped to practice Dharma, non-freedom, to practice Dharma ourselves like this. And also anyone who have entered the basic vehicle, breaks their vows and commitment to the bodhicitta, has nowhere else to go but the lower realms. He will not escape from state where there is no opportunity to practice the Dharma. Of course, someone's to enter into the basic vehicle, like a kind of sutta vehicle, tantric vehicle, or you can like take the vows, individual liberation vow, bodhicitta vows, but like a kind of this commitment breaks. And like a kind of the, doesn't matter, individual vows, commitment, or the Bodhisattva's commitment of the vows. And then you break, like don't care, and then is this samaya broken, this kind of commitment. And of course, there is like kind of, you can't commitment, don't want to kill, don't want to steal, but you break samaya of the Bodhisattva's vow, then you're doing the against it, opposite of the Bodhisattva vows, killing, stealing, doing sexual misconduct, so on. Then, of course, next rebirth, automatically, the lower realms, like kind of the hell, hungry ghosts, and animals. He will never escape, like, from this state. All the times there's maybe reborn again and again. This is also circumstance, incompatible propensity, obstacle in order to practice Dharma. And also anyone who, having entered to the secret matter vehicle, break his samaya commitment to his teacher and spiritual brother and sisters, will bring about his own turn and there, destroying any perspective of accomplishment. There are the 8 propensities that lead one away from the Dharma and the snuff out the lamp of the liberation. And like a candle of the disappear, and like a candle of the out of the lamp of the luminosities. And like this, and also we can to talking about here the samaya commitment. When we enter into the secret mantrayanas, and of course is the samaya of the secret mantrayana, we need to take care our own teachings, teachers, and also secret mantrayanas brothers and sisters. They are like kind of the big your condition. They are big kind of supporter, and they are like a kind of great like a manual for your in order to grow up your inner Buddha nature. And if you are against them, and then they're yours, the development seed of the Buddha nature is completely broken. And therefore, it is very important to keep the samayas, to respect to them, and never against to them. That is the keeping the samayas. And then it's like never criticize to them, never kind of the say bad, and just to respect and to them. And then it's the keeps all the samayas. Once we receive the secret mantra vehicle teachings, and we don't know necessary to break, and why we need to criticize, why we need to be against it. And we understood that. Therefore, if we break a samaya to against to them, then of course it is it is dangerous. And as I said, it's like when we have the process development or the grow up our Buddha nature seed, then it's like the condition is cut. And then it's like for ourselves, it's big problems. It's almost like there's no chance to grow up. And that is the big circumstances, incompatible propensities. Oh, this is, yes, like, this is incompatible. Oh, yeah. And then is before this 16, the 16 factors that have no opportunity for the practice have been carefully ruled out. The people in these decadent times may look as if they have all the freedoms and advantages and are a true practitioner of the Dharma. And it's difficult to really to have everything in the degeneration times or the decadent times. And we need to time to analyze very carefully them. If one is happened, enhanced this kind of the negative circumstances, then we are ruined out. And then it's like kind of to be the authentic or good practitioners. And then it's like become the hypocritical practitioner of the dharmas. And then is the result, maturation is like kind of the difficult. And however, the chieftain opened this throne, and the Lama beneath his parasol, the hermit in his mountain solitude, the man who has renounced the affair of the state, and anyone who might have a higher opinion of his own worth, each may they think he is practicing Dharma, but as long as he is under the sway of these additional limiting conditions, he is not on the true path. And like a kind of this kind of non-freedoms is evenly coming across, evenly give the obstacles. And of course, it doesn't matter, achieve, attain, open his throne like leaders, and also it's like a kind of rulers. There sometimes this kind of obstacles is occurring, and it's very difficult to do benefit under the people. And also it's like some lamas, like sitting under the parasols, high throne, and also sometimes influenced by this kind of 16 these circumstances, and it's difficult to practice genuine Dharma. And also someone's hermited in these mountains, solitude, and in the retreats, like kind of in the retreat place, kind of the called the retreat, but sometimes this kind of circumstance arrive, they are going under, ruin out, and we need to check again. And also, and some men who has the renounced the affair of the state, means it is like kind of to give up the worldly activities. My nose is something wrong. Allergies. Which kind of allergies? Yes. And say I give up any the worldly activity or the Dharma, just to be like kind of the free, want to practice only thinking Dharma City. But sometimes coming across this kind of circumstances, 16 circumstances, sometimes also they are like influenced by these circumstances, they lost their own really truth way, then it's like not practice the truth, Dharma. And therefore, it's all the times to check again and again, we do not under the, like, go on this 16, it's like kind of the circumstances. And when we are practice Dharma, and also is the so, before blindly assuming the form of the Dharma, check your own state carefully first to see whether or not you have all 34 aspects of the freedoms and advantages. And he said, therefore, blindly assuming the form of the Dharma, like immediately enter into the Dharma. This, of course, is good, but first time to check, to analyze. It is really, I have the good quality, human quality, 34 aspects of the freedoms, like 8 freedoms, and these 16 is like non-freedoms. We already checked. This the circumstance is how do you say? How do you say? First, the 8. It is the circumstance of. I forgot it. The intrusive, and 8 propensities, and together 16. And the first 8, the 8 together 24. Then is added the 10 advantages. Then together the 34 aspects of the freedoms. If these freedoms, then it's really our body is precious. Maybe we can stop there 5 minutes.